Spurs head coach Phil Neville. We'll go straight into questions. Who wants to start us off? Alex?
Hi, Phil. Good. How are you? Average. Just had a question on the DPs. Obviously, start of the year, you were playing with mainly just one in DaCosta with Jonathan's injury. We've since learned that David was dealing with a little bit of an injury too, and then picking up Velda in the summer. Just what is your assessment on those three heading into next season?
Well, I mean, the injury to Jonathan was a real killer, because you're talking about 16 goals, maybe another 5-6 goal contributions. That's over 20 goal contributions, and you see with the biggest area of our drop off this year from last year was obviously goals scored, I think. So that was a killer, and it was probably at a time you think about the amount of work that goes into buying a DP. It was impossible to replace, because we didn't know the extent, we didn't know the obviously the diagnosis coming back into the off season. He did the first 3 weeks of pre-season, then he was drifting in and out of training, then we realized it was something really serious, and so it gave us no time to recover in terms of the DP, and you know, this league is built on DP success, really. Your whole structure of your team is built around 2 DPs, so that was something that we couldn't control. That's not something that we use as an excuse. That's something that we couldn't control. He left at the end of the season in good shape. He came back, and then all of a sudden a problem developed. We acquired a really, really good young player from, he's Portuguese, but from France, 24 years of age. He hit the ground running. And when you said about he had a minor injury, if you look back to I think it was the St. Louis game at home in the League's Cup, and the whole shoulder popped out. And then from then to the end of the season, I've got to say, he showed incredible courage, because we could have easily put him into an operation straight away. He said, no way, I want to go, I want to get this club into the playoffs, and I want to be in the playoffs. So I think what we saw then was a player that was playing at probably 40-50% in terms of his injury. So he wasn't be able to play at his full capacity, and I think he was affected by that, obviously, with around that. And then we brought in Christoph Velda, who we'd done a lot of work on. Like I say, it's a 3-4 month period when you're investing that kind of money. The owner invested, backed us. We brought in a player that I think is going to be a real star in this league, and I think everyone in this room would agree, as in terms of what we've seen over the last 2 months, 3 months, is that he's going to be a star, and you know, he probably didn't get the goals that we needed. But you look at Jonathan when he first came in, I think you look at his first 11 games, I think we didn't win a game for the first 11. We were finding more about him, and then all of a sudden he went on that goal scoring rush. With Christoph, you look at other DP signs that came in, you know, maybe Son, who scored 7 or 8 goals. Christoph could have easily had 7 to 8 goals. I think in terms of his performances, he took the team up to another level in terms of what we needed. And I'm incredibly excited to what he can bring to us next year.
Coach, para la Grande Radio en español, por favor, un resumen de lo que fue la temporada y el cierre. A summary of the season and how we ended.
Para mi cuerpo técnico, la temporada es, en una temporada tenemos 2 temporadas. Antes de Leagues Cup y después de Leagues Cup. Antes de Leagues Cup tuvimos rendimientos muy buenos. Está muy arriba en la tabla. Ganamos casi todos los partidos. Estamos en una forma muy buena. Todos los jugadores en buena forma. Buen rendimiento, físicamente bueno también, no hay lesiones, excepto Jonathan Rodríguez. Y durante la Leagues Cup, para mí es el mejor rendimiento esta temporada. LAFC, los 3 partidos en Leagues Cup son buenos. Tuvimos mal suerte en el Leagues Cup para no sigue en esta competición, y después para mí muy decepcionante. No está en el nivel para competir, no está en el nivel para ganamos los partidos. Sí, hay un montón de razones, pero mí tiene tomar la responsabilidad, porque solo ganamos 2 partidos en 10, 11, 12 partidos. Para mí no es bueno, no es el nivel para tener éxito. Entonces, eso es mi sentimiento.
We do the same question in English. Just your overall thoughts.
Wow, can you not translate for me? No, I think in one season we have 2 seasons. When we're doing our review, me and the boys are doing the season review now, and it's really important because there's been a lot of emotions this week. There's been a lot of things said by a lot of people, but our job is to bring the reality to it, to bring the facts to it. There's 2 seasons. There's up until Leagues Cup and then after Leagues Cup. Up until Leagues Cup, I think we were in 4th position in the league. There was a lot of positivity around the club. We were playing good football. There was a confidence. Every player was fit. Every player was in good form. We were competing with every single team that we played, whether it was those at the top or those at the bottom. There was a consistency. I think that's there was a consistency to everything that we did. And then coming out of Leagues Cup, you know, I think I said it then. There's 1,000 reasons why we became inconsistent, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it's my job to make us consistent, and that I didn't do, and the team didn't do. And so, did we achieve everything that we wanted to achieve? No. Did we fall short? I feel as if we did. Did we get to the playoffs? Yes, we did, but I still think we fell short, and that's the bit that's churning away in my stomach at this moment in time, because I think there's so many good things happening in this football club from top to bottom. I think we're in a really strong place with our roster. We're in a really strong place with the profile of players we've got. We're in a real strong place in terms of the way that we want to play football. We're in a really strong place with some of the younger players that are coming through. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about results. And I feel as if that's where we fell short. And you look back at those, I don't know how many games in particular, but say, for instance, from the first game back after Leagues Cup, Dallas, to the last game against San Diego, we fell short. And I think the last things that you see is the most important things that you remember. I think that's our biggest learning. Did we fail? I don't like the word failure, but we need to learn, and we need to learn fast, because the expectation and the pressure at this football club is to win. That's why I love this football club. That's why I love our supporters. That's why I love being in this area, because we're not here to have a holiday. We're here to win. And I say that that's the biggest challenge we've got in this off-season, is to improve everything that we do in every aspect of our play, is to improve everything we do in every aspect of our recruitment, and to improve whole as a club to make sure next year we're competing.
Said it at the end there, but speaking of recruitment, obviously you're a big part of that this offseason. There are certain spots in the squad now that we know which players will not be back, with the likes of Christian Paredes also exiting out the door.
Yeah.
Where in this squad, whether starter or immediate depth piece, are you looking to improve this offseason?
Well, I think first and foremost we do need to improve, and in terms of the players that we're bringing in. I feel as if when I came in, Billy just told me 6th of November 2 years ago. So I'm at this club. What day is it today? I think 2 years and 6 days. And I think when I came in there was a rebuild. There was a rebuild from where we were. There was a lot of really, really, really good players that were coming to the end of their time here. And I'd say that we, in the off-season last year, I think part one was to start the rebuild. I think we're still in that rebuild. You think about the players that are coming to their end of their contracts now. Mora, Zuparic, Millsy, Paredes, these are part of the old brigade. These are part of the players that have been fantastic servants for this club, and we need to keep evolving as a football club and as a roster, and those players have been massively important to us, and some of them are still going to be massively important to us now. So I think what we did in the last off season is we lowered the age of the squad. We brought in a different type of player in terms of physicality, because the way that football's doing, and we need to continue to do that.
The youth of this club was kind of the focus coming into this season, and obviously you had success as being part of a youth player coming up into a system.
Yeah.
Now that you coached that for a year and kind of went through the ups and downs of it, what did you learn from that group, and about how to kind of coach that sort of type of player?
Well, I think I say, what did I learn? I think what I saw is already what I knew. You see incredible highs and you see lows. And what we need to do is we need to, and I think Finn Sermon's an incredible example of that, of someone that doesn't get the highs and the lows. It's just that absolutely every week, 7 out of 10. And maybe his 7 out of 10 is 8 out of 10, to be honest with you. I think what you saw from the other younger players is during the season, you saw, he's going to be a really top player. And then you saw the inconsistencies maybe at parts of the season as well. We have to expect that. That's what young players do, you know. The Foras, the Ayalas, the Mosqueras, the Antonys, you know, there's peaks and troughs in any young player. And that's where the balance of the squad's vital, where you get the right balance between experience and youth. We love young players. I love young players. I think we're at our best when we're developing those young players. We've got some of the best young players in the MLS. I really believe that. And I think my staff are absolutely incredible at developing those young players, working with them, improving them every single day. I think that's a real strong DNA of this football club over the last 2 years. And I'd say that what we need to do over the next 12 months is to make sure that the highs and the lows become neutrals, the highs and the lows become more consistent. And I'd say that that's a big challenge, and I've got every confidence in those young players that they can do that.
You just spoke about how the young players finding consistency in their game can bring consistency on the field. Just what are you anticipating next year, and what do you want this team to look like next year in terms of on-pitch identity?
Well, I think if you looked at our team, for the last 2 years, not just for this year, I think for the last 2 years, we're a team that play 4-2-3-1. You know, I think 70-80% of the time we play that system. That's been our identity. I think what I've said from day one is I'm a coach that not just a coach, but I think in modern day football you've got to have a degree of adaptability in it. And I look back to that Leagues Cup. You know, coming out of the LAFC game, going into the Leagues Cup, where we had to be adaptable. You know, we went to LAFC, played 3 at the back, won. We then went through the Leagues Cup, playing 3 at the back and won. And it was around that time that we lost Santi Moreno. Big point of playing 4-2-3-1. And our system was Santi Moreno. Think about that combination on that right-hand side, Mosquera, Santi Moreno. That was a big part of our system and our flow. Then coming out of Leagues Cup, and I've got to say, coming out of Leagues Cup, with what we'd achieved over the last 4 games, with only conceding 1 goal and 3 wins out of 4, is that we continued with that 3 at the back system because of personnel, but also because of the decision that we were an adaptable team. And then when we obviously went into sort of like the back end of the season, the majority of the time we played 4 at the back, and there was probably 2 or 3 occasions when we went to 3 at the back because of injuries, because of personnel decisions. And then in the playoffs, it was needs must. It was a win. It was a win or you're out game against San Diego, and we were in hit or bust times. So the identity of this team, I think, has been pretty clear from day one. We're a 4-2-3-1 team that wants to score goals and entertain and play fast attacking football. We just need to be better at that, and I think that's the consistency now. That from the top to the bottom that we're going to be demanding. We need consistency in everything that we do. From the system we play, the style we play has been pretty consistent, but we just need to be better at that. Just like the top 5 teams are at this moment in time, they are elite at certain things that we're not elite at, and we need to become elite at what we do.
Morning, Coach.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not seen you for a while. You normally have the bow tie on.
You know, I want to switch it up. We had to switch it up a little bit. The weather's been changing. Yeah, I'm glad you remember. Well, you know, since you've been here, every year you guys have gotten better. Wild card first year, playoffs this year. How do you view your 3rd season? Do you feel as if it's more of a make or break, or do you feel as if a conference appearance is necessary? How do you view next season needs to end in order for you to say, yeah, that was successful 2026?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. And I'm just going to speak personally from me, not from conversations I've had with anyone here, because I've got incredible support. I've got an owner that gives me the keys to the castle to do whatever I want, and I've got a GM that backs me. So this is personally me, how I feel. I think I'm at that point now where I have to deliver. I'm honest. We're at this football club with a set of fans, a GM, but more importantly, an ownership that wants success. This is why I love this football club. This is why I came, because it's not 8th, 9th, playoff at home, You know, there's a lot of teams in this league. We're probably sitting here this week with their feet up thinking, we've had a decent season. We got a home playoff. We competed. That's not in the makeup of this football club. It's not in the makeup of me. We have to win. The demands I'm putting on myself are the same demands that the supporters are putting on me at this moment in time. They're not happy. I'm not happy. So I'd say I'm at that line now at this football club where I'm like saying, Phil, you know, you need to deliver. You know, and you need to deliver with success. Now, we can define success in many ways. I actually think at this moment in time, we're heading in that direction to bring success. Success comes with consistency of work, consistency of recruitment, consistency of everything we do. And I think over the last 2 years, from top to bottom, we've had a real vision and plan to get you to success. Success doesn't happen overnight, particularly when you build long term. And but what I do believe in is that, you know, there's a 3-year plan to success, and we're now going into year 3. So for me, I sit at home, I talk to my wife, my son and my daughter. I say, I have to deliver, and that's the pressure that I want, and that's the pressure that I have absolutely every confidence in myself to do.